And the respawn timers are 30 seconds on 2 of them. It is a 3v5 defense. The carries are alive. The wave clear is in. Ignar taken up in the front line, puts on the shield. Can they
Tactical!
Tactical tries. He finds 1. He finds 2. He's gonna find 3. And he is revived. Do you believe a 3v5 team fight? Because TL certainly does. Give him the quadra. Give him the kills. Tactical with the Bud Light Ace single-handedly.
The Rookie of the Year saving TL's upper bracket run here.
Welcome back. It's hard to believe, Kobe. This is only Game 3, but it is match point for Team Liquid, who are currently up 2-0 versus Evil Geniuses. And what will we get for this draft? Because we've seen, let's say, 2 different-ish looks from EG, and I feel like we like pieces of both of them, so I'm expecting a combination of those 2 to come out. But I guess the real larger question is, can anyone beat Team Liquid? Certainly can EG beat Team Liquid, because they have looked so good throughout this series.
The pressing matter at hand is, can Evil Geniuses take 1 game off of Team Liquid?
Right.
Because you can't even be looking through the entire series. A reverse sweep is just 1 game at a time. Focus on this one. EG need to make some corrections here. I definitely want them to play offensive matchups, you know, like going into Jizuke's Comfort Pit, Echo, trying to play all in, trying to play for some kills like that. But we get EG on blue side here, and we'll see if there's any sort of switch up. Already in Champ Select, they are banning away Core JJ's Thresh. You mentioned at the end of last game, hey, get him off it. I feel like there's so many games, though, where people come away from it. If Core JJ happen to play the same champion twice in a row, then they're like, get him off that champion. He's too good. He has shown that regardless of champion from the support role, he's going to make big plays. Not a lot of champions can do what Thresh does, though. Obviously, the Dark Passage Lantern is very, very unique. I will expect now Team Liquid to go for something more hard engaged for Core JJ, because he has been so good at setting up plays for them. He is also a really big fan of Rel, so maybe we get to see Rel popping up here in this game. Change number 2, though, Pastry. Looks like they're off the Olaf train, and they're going to just switch right over to Udyr style.
I mean, they explicitly got off. They self-banned Olaf away from themselves on the blue side, so didn't even want to give this trade if they wanted to take Udyr first pick, which they did do. Camille and Thresh, the other 2 bans that have been kind of mainstays for EG so far in this series. And then Pantheon, Renekton, and Taliyah, just, I think, reacting to the Olaf ban in some ways for the last one, otherwise very standard. But Team Liquid always sure of their game plans. It's Kai'Sa and Lilia already locked in for TL.
And they're leaving themselves open for a possible Camille pick as well. Let's see. On the side of Evil Geniuses, a couple of options still left. Nidalee and Graves, probably the 2 most prominent. Oh, just kidding. It was the first pick, Udyr. So looking at 80 carries with the early Kai'Sa pick here, MF has a lot of possible big combinations for lane. Really like the lane, actually, even into Kai'Sa. Yes, Seraphine is probably one of the ones that pops up quickly because you can harass so hard, try and poke them under tower really early, and gain yourself, again, a similar foothold in the bottom lane to try and use Udyr for the dragon focus after your full clear. Try and get that one stacking early on. And we do get it this time around. Gonna keep saying it every time it's locked in because it was one of my favorites, duo queuing with my friend. You throw out your Seraphine E. As it's traveling, you have time as a misfortune to make it rain on the person. That applies the slow instantly. It's super long range. You don't have to worry about minions either. And the Seraphine E will still snare them. I don't even have time to switch over Pastry and talk about the Rel that we were hyping up.
Yeah, certainly a lot of synergy there, so excited for that 2v2, but there is the Rel that you asked for from Core JJ, so lose 1 playmaker, gains another. For me, it's not about, you know, oh, he's so good on Thresh, you have to ban it, and these other champions are worse. It's just like, stop the Core JJ momentum is the reason I like seeing teams ban away key players when they just
combo breaker now.
Exactly.
Let's see you do it on Rel.
So, you know, not as comfortable, not as warmed up. Is it going to be a problem? Absolutely not. Core JJ is a stud. He's going to be fine on this champion or just about anything else you hand him in the draft. So he does have Rel, which is very exciting. Rel is like all engage all the time in a lot of ways. But phase 2 of the draft is continuing, and Jace has been banned by Team Liquid actually, so giving some respect to the impact carries.
Yeah, actually pretty interesting here. Okay, so I wonder if they're actually going to save the final pick for Jensen then, because Jensen has been very willing to blind pick solo laners, and you're going to have to blind pick one of them if you're on red side, and then you can save counter pick for the other one. Usually you blind pick mid and you counter pick for your top lane because it's a longer lane, you can take advantage a lot easier. But maybe with these extra bans, they are actually just trying to protect Alphari, get some AD top laner for Alphari for the top side, and then leave the counter pick for mid lane for Jensen instead. Split the difference, I guess.
Yep, 1H, TF, and Jace banned away. Also, Yone banned because there's an AP jungler on the Liquid side, so they're a little bit more likely to gravitate towards an AD jungler, AD mid laner, sorry, and Yone is kind of one of the few that exists, and Jensen has already played it. So not, the control mages he's maybe been more known for in recent years, but certainly a champion in his wheelhouse. Gangplank going to be banned away again, so once again, splitting the difference on as far as strong solo lane champions go, but I think it's pretty smart not to give Alphari Gangplank. He's rather good on that champion. And unfortunately, I don't think the Nasus for the jersey is coming out. Probably not worth it at match point.
Blind pickable top laners. Gragas available, Aatrox available. Those have a lot of very decent lanes. Gnar, like we saw earlier, Alphari going to take a page out of Impact's book, actually, and steal that one away. Let's see. It's very bold to actually pick the Gnar into Impact. I want to see what he feels like gives him the highest chance to punish, because Impact had these interviews where he's talking about, I love this EG team. They feel like they have more faith in me. They listen to me more. They respect me more. They will give me resources. Jizuke will throw away waves to come top side. And it is just going to be the Aatrox. So that one is not really a hard counter. Does have a lot of options. Very blind pickable. Definitely skill matchup on top side.
Like you said, though, this Gnar is Impact's most played champion in solo queue and also in this series. So he'll know his way around the matchup, even if it's not, something as aggressive as something like the Jace, which was banned by Liquid, I think, wanting to cover for this Gnar pick that they were making to counter pick for their mid lane, which is the setup they have been going for. Rise pick up for Jizuke, one of the few players other than Demonte, I believe, who was playing this a lot in the LCS at least. But I like it, It's, again, keeps him active, gets him out of lane, lets him roam a lot. That's the thing we like about Jizuke, is when he's constantly aggressive and around the map. And with Twist of Fate ban, you need to do some more of the legwork yourself, and Rise can fill that niche. Counter pick, though, not super consequential for Jensen, but it is tried and true. It's going to be Orianna once more.
Yeah, and Rise is one of the champions that we associate with Jizuke. Again, I always mention these two champions, Echo and Rise, that he performs the best on. So good at transitioning to splitting up and split pushing for the mid stages of the game. And honestly, he was the first one who pulled out the Rise in the current meta. It has since shown up in LEC as well, and it has since shown up in the hands of other LCS players. But he was the first one to bring it back here, at least in the lock-in tournament. So I'm excited to see it in his hands once again. He's super confident on it. They do have options for 1-3-1 later on if Impact on Aatrox can get to a very comfortable state. I actually love the current state of Aatrox. There's so much healing in his kit with Gore Drinker build into Sterix. I feel like these two items are insane right now. If you have any sort of bruiser type champion that you like playing, those are great on him. And if that champion also has healing in their kit, it just even furthers that.
Yeah, Gore Drinker is one of the items I think people looked at and was like, huh, that's good on everything, all right? Yeah, and as you said, if you can make use of it naturally as well with the way your champion wants to play, then it's even better. So I like the pick up here. I like the impact salon on the counter pick, even if it's not as sharp as something like the Jace that Alphari has shown us in the last two games. Impact wanting to, again, make a stand against his old team here, and EG are already off to the races. They are zooming out of base there with the Bear leading the front. EG going to start off with some sort of level 1 here, maybe expecting J to walk in toward this red buff, although Ignar is going to get a little bit of extra vision poking forward.
I will say that the interaction was nerfed a little bit. We do get the level 1. He's all the way in.
Yeah, J going over the back of the Dragon Pit, which he's done before, I believe, but well spotted out there by EG, who scouted. Now going to flash into Jizuke with the Flash E. Trying to get something done there. A little bit of extra damage, but no CC on that one there. But the Flash E is going to come in on the other side for Seraphine. Is called JJ. Still trying to run out of there, and it will indeed be first blood for Jizuke.
Commit, 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 Pastry time. Spend your flashes, get that one. Ignar and Jizuke both going really hard for this chase, and they punish the blind attempt from Core JJ. This is one of the champions you can do it on. We see this on Rakan, we see this on support Gragas plays as well, but I'm glad that we actually see it punished actually on stage, because this is one of the few times where you know, they actually are in place. They have seen so many games of Core JJ Rel. This is one of the things. He has played probably the most Rel of any of the pro support players that at least not hidden accounts that I've been able to track. He has put in so much work on this champion. His most played, as I mentioned before, but also played so much of it in the in-house pro games as well. And people getting wise to his tricks. Back to the Aatrox interaction, though. This is 11.2, so the interaction between your self-healing with your world ender was reduced a bit, as some of it was moved over to the Umbral Dash just for your self-healing, and not to all healing interacting with your Gore Drinker. You know, taken down from 50% at level 1 to 30% at level 1 and 100 to 60 at max rank.
Yeah, certainly a little bit of, you know, power taken out there, but still perfectly good for Aatrox there. So Impact should be feeling good as the lane continues. Right now, not feeling particularly good. Ooh, very fancy little dash back, fade away knock up there to prevent Meganar from continuing the assault, which makes sense. Impact's lost a lot of health in this trade so far. Doran's Blade looking a little mightier than Doran's Shield right now. Also saw Core JJ on bottom side get a heal out of Deathly there. Still continuing the aggression despite losing both his flash and his life at level 1.
And he's going maximum healing as well with the fleet footwork on Aatrox into the Gnar. Alphari is doing the exact same build that Impact used on Gnar, where he's got Grasp, he's got Taste of Blood for extra healing in lane and sustain, but Impact actually going for the fleet footwork too on it for the extra sustain for lane, and it gives you that a little bit of extra move speed, which you can try and use to reposition for your Qs or land a better Infernal Chain.
Santorin, haven't seen him in a bit, but both Udyr and Lilia have been just cruising through the jungle. It's going to be Crab 1 here for Santorin. And should be able to take this with no problems there. Jensen also pressuring just in case, but we know Svenskeren is back in base, having bought a Ruby Crystal, so just another pleasant clear here for Santorin, as both these junglers, at least in the early game, have mostly just been power farming, with the exception of Santorin's gank in the last game, as Core JJ once again makes an attempt with the Hex Flash.
And Svenskeren actually is going to be able to sneak up and grab this crab, despite doing the early recall after full power clear, and then back up to the top side. Bottom, though.
They're back in, and Core JJ taking a little bit too much damage. Not so fast without the horse, and definitely he's just going to take out Core JJ.
Well, guess what, Pastry? You get him off the Thresh, and you get him with the level 1 counter, and TL falling apart.
Ooh, stun hits in midair as well, but a good hop from Alphari does keep him safe. Is forced to flash, though, so had to use the summon spell. Core JJ also ignited down there, so he gets full punished in the bottom lane 2v2, with Ignar getting low but not down just yet.
Yeah, really good focus there from the EG duo, knowing there's no flash escape here for Core JJ. He charges in, he drops his Ignite, and it's a really good turnaround. Let's take another look. They land the snare here with the double cast from the passive for Ignar. Never mind, let's get back to live.
Or Impact. Good flash, does have to get out there, but Santorin with a nicely timed bit of pressure in the top lane is going to force Impact. Summon spell usage. Alphari also going to maybe extend this lead with the wave crashing again from the help of Santorin here. Already up almost 10 CS, and Impact's probably going to have to go back to base, because if the jungler revisits and dives, he's dead.
Look at how hard they're fighting over lane priority on the top side. Alphari, with his first purchase and teleport back out, went for another Doran's Blade, investing in a second starting item to keep up the pressure here on Impact. Impact does stall his recall, pick up this extra wave at the tower, but yeah, a lot of options for healing for this top lane matchup for both sides. So healing cutting definitely will go a long way. Let's see about the shield breaking too. Remember, for Rel, he can break through with the Q through Seraphine's shield that she can put up.
Another E attempt, but this one not going to hit. Svenskeren is also down here on the bottom side of the map. Will be spotted by Team Liquid's wards, though, as Impact also TP'd back to the top lane. Alfari, of course, TP'd back in before, because that's how we got second Doran's Blade. Didn't just magically appear like on. But Svenskeren off to the races on the Dragon. This is really what Udi wants to do. You know, he wants to visit the lane sometimes, he wants to reassure you, but mostly he wants to keep farming the jungle. And Svenskeren should be able to take this Mountain Drake Cloud Drake nice and easy.
Yeah, and this is, again, yeah, it's Udyr, and you love, you know, PvEing, but also your bottom lane killing Tactical and Core JJ. It's the cascading effect of this level 1 blind attempt over the back of the Dragon pick, where Core JJ blows his flash, he dies, they get first blood on that side of EG, then they're able to punish him in lane for not having the flash and get the second kill on him, have completely changed the face of the setup here for EG. And now they're looking for the dive to really ram it home.
This is definitely a Jizuke special. Realm warming down. Warping now is Svenskeren under the tower is Tactical, and he's stunned up and killed as Jizuke getting low. Does get actually slain by Core JJ, but now he's unmounted under the tower, and Svenskeren walks in and Phoenix dances him to death as EG will win out on the trade in bottom lane.
Yeah, that's the rarely seen Phoenix slap. Don't even have to go for the stun. One-shots him with the Phoenix Breath proc afterwards. That is an investment of your mid laner, though, with the rotation down. Realm warps over. They get a counter kill for Team Liquid, so it's not the worst world. And Jensen gets one play in answer, plus topside counter jungle there for Santorin. Still, I like the look. Proactive gameplay, keeping up pressure on bottom side. This Kai'Sa is a huge part of the Team Liquid win condition. It's the most reliable part, because otherwise you're relying on, you know, finicky things like Gnar and Shockwave coming up big for the team fights later. If you can keep up this pressure on bottom lane, keep Tactical starving under there, this is going to be very big for their mid-game. Counter kill going over also went into the hands of Core JJ with the last hit, so they didn't even put that money onto Tactical, and it is all going EG's way this far. Pastry time. We had a reverse sweep just yesterday, and the delays aren't going to change those possibilities here. EG coming out strong, 1.5 gold lead, as well as the extra Dragon.
Yep, take that Herald as well, so easy flip up to the top side for the EG duo. Does mean Impact is taking a little bit of heat in the 2v1, but should be just okay as he's keeping the wave at a reasonable distance off the tower so he doesn't get shot or lose his structure. We'll see where Sven wants to drop that Herald, but it does feel like Udyr is taking command of a lot of these early games, just from the raw power of how efficiently he clears. But that certainly shouldn't take away from EG's teamwork, and this is the reason I like Jizuke's Rise specifically so much. It's just a champion he can always be very active on. Again, it does fill a similar role as Twisted Fate. His global isn't nearly as powerful as TF's, but with TF getting banned basically every game because they know Jizuke is too good on the champion, Rise for me is a very good proxy, so EG can play the same style, which has been the style that I think they've been most successful with so far this lock-in.
Yeah, and, you know, Svenskeren has done his job on Udyr this game, but he's not really the catalyst for any of these, you know, big objectives that they're getting. They have all pretty much been team-based, you know, and off the punish onto Core JJ, mainly, with the extra picks and bottom lane control that they've gotten. That allowed them, you know, for the dive, it allowed them for the Dragon, it allowed them bottom lane control to swap up for the Rift Herald. So as much as I love jungler credit here, baby, it has been a bit of a difference there. Alfari and Impact going pretty deep with this trade.
Ults exchange, but Alfari not able to connect. The bowler was a minute in the way, I believe, so decent trade back and forth, but again with the healing for both of them, shouldn't be too eventful there as Core JJ is continuing to join Tactical up here on the top side because Svenskeren is leaning there right now. In fact, I also see Jizuke on the minimap, so everybody knows what's up. Santorin is here in the area to prevent any sort of dive, but we'll see how long he wants to wait here. Does get that ward though, and now they know Santorin is on the Krugs.
Yeah, and they also see Jizuke reappear in mid lane. When the wave does come back mid, he relieves that threat of Realm warping up, and so Tactical and Core JJ can stay under the tower. All kind of cards are down. Everybody just decides to back off because it's way too dangerous there. So just the full reset. Tiny bit of damage up onto the turret, and we're only 11 minutes into the game, so you don't have to use the Rift Herald this early on just a couple of turret plates. You can wait for a better opportunity.
Like this one, Jizuke Realm Warps around the back is a very sneaky looking gank there. And now Alfari in a 1v2, he absolutely cannot win as Impact will get the kill credit.
Q3 kills on Aatrox are the most satisfying thing that you can come up with in this game. Really, really big dunk right there. Jizuke Realm Warps. Pastry, you've been singing his praises about his map mobility with this champion. He does it here again. Impact specifically called out Jizuke, saying that Jensen, when he was on Team Liquid, would opt for the turret plate mid or for the extra wave, but Jizuke has no problem giving up a wave, moving to try and invest resources in Impact, and there is proof right there. From his words straight onto the Summoner's Rift, Jizuke makes the play, and it opens up once again. Svenskeren to take another objective. Top side, they're back at it.
Yeah, Tactical in trouble here. Jizuke at it again. Great chain there as Tactical's going to try and KI out of the way, but Jizuke still chasing in. Needs to land the root there. Does have the E on top, and the Q is going to get flashed as the channeled ulti from MF is not going to get onto Tactical as he did flash in. Now the pull from ColdJJ. Going to find the counter engage as Jensen finally going to join the fight. Alfari here as well as a great shockwave finds Igna. See you later as Jensen's going to grab that. Now Alfari about to transform. He does get rooted though as Jensen grabs the double kill, and Team Liquid unlucky to not get more as EG do disengage despite losing 2.
Signs of life here from Team Liquid. Big punish. Can they get more out of it? With Impact and Jizuke sticking around here, they might.
Alfari has ult still as well. Impact a bridge too far, I do believe, as he is going to be killed by Alfari. No, it's Jensen that's going to grab his 3rd kill of the exchange. Svenskeren, what are you doing taking the crab, buddy? That's not safe.
Nobody look over here. He's like, all right, if you're going to kill Impact, let me try and get something while everybody's attention is diverted. Sleight of hand, you know, Pastry. Let me try and quickly grab this. They slap his hand out of the cookie jar, though. No crab for you. And they will keep their little influx of gold for Team Liquid. I actually like how they keep up the pressure, too. You know, after this top lane turnaround, they want to pry as much out of it as they can, and they end up getting the extra kill onto Impact. That's big, sticking around for it. So, no chance there as they bring 4 members up. It is going to be a collapse, and just barely squeezing out the flash from Tactical as Jizuke committed to throwing the last Q there. So they do get double summoner spells, but those summoner spells are enough to keep Team Liquid alive and bring in EG too far on the dive. They close the trap, everybody comes back up, Santorin lands the sleep to ensure the 2nd kill, and then with the honey fruit, I don't think Impact was expecting them to be this healthy, but all 5 honey fruit picked up right there by Alfari and Santorin allow them, they just turn and burn, focus fire down, Impact get that extra kill.
And ColdJJ gonna have to buff for a dash
Flash.
out. Does indeed escape, but Svenskeren is not done chasing just yet. Udyr keeps on going. Jizuke's here as well. Svenskeren taking too much damage. He's gonna live. No, surely not as Tactical. We'll shoot him down there using the ulti, but Jizuke is gonna flash in and make sure he can get the trade kill as now Ignal's roamed up, and Santorin gonna be cut off here by Impact as he will flash away, but here comes the Realm Mob. Good interrupt there by Jensen. They're gonna turn it back around. Jizuke gonna go to sleep. The Lilia Burn is on him and he will fall down as the channeled ulti from MF is gonna do a little bit of damage, but not enough as Alfari flashes in over the back of the Rift Herald pit. Is going to make sure Impact does feel the pain as Alfari. No, once again, it's Jensen who is just here to secure every single kill, getting yet another one.
Action-packed Pastry time. EG want to keep pressing this game, but Team Liquid are willing to throw down. Jensen, huge shockwave on his rotation up to get them out of that Realm Warp. He gets 2 back in, and it is now a bloodbath. What a swing. Team Liquid fighting right back through this one. They want to finish this one out with the 3-0. 15 minutes in, they will pick up this Rift Herald that will even up the gold count, and now they can prepare for Dragon. 1 minute, 45 seconds away, plenty of time to go recall, purchase control awards. I want to see them in everybody's inventory slots right here. We've got 4. Alfari has not recalled yet. He could fill in the last slot as well as they transition their vision resources back back down towards that bottom lane objective. CoreJJ trying to bait in here. Really good transformation on the Rel, so he's able to gain his distance, then pulls in Sven Skaren to ensure the counter kill here. But really it's about the minimap. You see the transition up. Jensen walks up through the jungle, and then you have Alphari trailing on this Gnar. Right there, shockwave for Jensen. They jump on it, even with 4-3 numbers advantage for EG on the map. Because they are split, but Team Liquid were grouped and focus fire down off of that shockwave. Those 2 kills, they transfer it into a big comeback here. Everybody converging down around mid, though.
Yeah, top tower is being assaulted by Dazuki here, but there's a lot more happening around that dragon, it looks like. But for now, it does just seem like EG are pushing in mid. Jensen actually pushing down bottom, so we're going to trade some towers and then go fight for this Drake by the looks of things. TL do want to stop EG from snowballing this Ocean Soul, which it actually has been Ocean Soul 3 games in a row, by the way. I don't know how likely that is, but someone who's better at math than me can figure it out. For now, we'll just look at TL channeling that Herald, looking to knock down mid, and then transition down to the objective in 15 seconds time. So really have just arrested control back of this game. Sven Skaren is roaming on in, trying to stop Shelly, but doesn't get it done, just barely. Missing the kill before the charge is finished off. As TL will lie in wait here around this objective, and I don't think EG are particularly interested in trying to fight for it right now.
I think EG would like to use a flank from Jizuke. They've got the Rise trailing down right now. Realm Warp is up.
Impact again also on another pretty good flank there, but Shockwave is after ready. Oh, Rel goes in, finds 2. There's the 3-man Shockwave. CoreJJ just sets it up, and Jensen knocks it down. That's going to be a double kill for the Orianna. Impact is going to be the 4th kill given over as Tactical's over the wall and gets a double for himself. And it's only Jizuke who must watch Team Liquid take the Drake. That was a stunningly good engage by CoreJJ.
Even with how disastrous the early game was for CoreJJ, now on this Rel, combining Magnet Storm with the Shockwave, you just are in a bounce house there. Knock-up after displacement, and Team Liquid come thundering back. In a matter of minutes, they flip the entire table. Now they are up 2.5k gold for themselves with the extra dragon, stopping the stacking from EG. 7 kills now to Jensen's name. He is just putting in so much work here. That Shockwave up by the red quadrant of the jungle, turning around that skirmish, constantly moving for the team, following up this CoreJJ engage. He is going to be one monstrous Orianna. All right, here's another look at it. With the whiff from Ignar on the ultimate from Seraphine there, CoreJJ knows everything is open. There's no counter engage here. He immediately gets the perfect combo, then into Shockwave for all 3, and they are just deleted instantly. So Impact, even with the flash, nowhere he's going to be able to get away to safety too. And with that dragon, Team Liquid are right back on track.
And I was going to say, like, in the first, 10-ish, 12 minutes of this game, if you'd hidden the nameplates, I might have thought that Team Liquid were on EG's side with how they were approaching the early game, getting their advantages, stacking those early dragons, and then from whatever happened after
with all those Rise roams?
Yeah, all those Rise, I mean, a little less likely, right? But, you could have fooled me into thinking, like, hey, this is, like, the kind of early to mid-game that Team Liquid have shown so far in this series. Hold that thought, though, because Alphari is in a 1v3 that he's not going to live in. Great ulti to buy a little bit more time. I may have spoken too soon, as Jensen, once again, to the rescue, does make sure his top laner stays alive.
Oh, yep, they're going to back off after this one. They're bringing Seraphine for reinforcements, though. EG might actually double down on this split. If you look at the minimap, they're losing out on topside pushing as well as mid pushing for doing this, though.
Ignar missed his ult too, tried to get it over the wall and be a bit cheeky, but now in a 2v4 for Jensen and CoreJJ. Alphari has backed off, but as you said, the mid lane is in trouble. Good flash out there for Jensen, who does get exhausted, but another great Shockwave combo with the Rel. Double stun to follow us all after the tether, but Impact will take out Core, as Jensen was not able to get a counter kill this time.
Look at this commitment. EG are so deep. There's teleports behind them. Alphari is coming.
Sven Skaren is just committed to the cause, and he's dead now. Jensen goes legendary. Jizuke's also trying to dive in. He goes down as Jensen grabs the double kill. And I think it's just, pushing a little too far here on the EG side. I get it. You want to try and recoup something, but game's just going from bad to worse. As Tactical is dancing, laugh spamming. And as he takes down Ignar and pops the emotes, as Team Liquid, I think they know the answer. I think they know, Kobe, that they're going to the finals.
Yeah, that is way too far. They're pushing so deep on this. They actually, I think they had the call, and they were like, hey, Alphari's teleporting behind us. We can't go out. Everybody in. And it just looks so comical as they just run, flailing around, running towards Jensen, dying at his feet. 9 kills now to the Orianna with those 2. Oh my goodness. Team Liquid have crushed them, Pastry Time. The mental is a boom.
Starting to feel
They've got the commitment though. Once they sense their mind to a play, they're gonna go all the way.
I mean, that's the glory of Chemtank Udyr, is you can go anywhere you want on the Rift, most likely. It's just with great power, you must be responsible, Kobe. And Svenskeren committed a little too much Chemtank juice there as, ooh, Baron not going to get moved off there. In fact, it's just instantly taken down. It's Jizuke going to get danced on there by Tactical. Jensen, though, will be slain. Finally, 1,000 extra gold goes over, but Asleep is definitely at the wheel, which is not where you want your AD carry to be, but instead it is actually Kai'Sa that gets jumped on there as Impact and Sven are able to find that kill, but Svenskeren himself is going to go down as there's a double kill for the Lilia, and Impact is the only one left alive on the EG side. They didn't stop the Baron. They're not going to win the team fight as Team Liquid are going to ace EG for perhaps the last time this series.
Baron buff on 3 for Team Liquid, and they can run straight down that bottom lane. Push with the extra minion wave here. 8 seconds on Jizuke, 3 on Ignar actually. Since they died so early, they will have reinforcements for EG in time to deal with the extra minion wave. No further push. Dragon in 25 seconds should be the cleaner pickup.
So the good news is they killed Jensen, which is a lot of extra gold, and they didn't lose an inhibitor tower, which you have to feel like is maybe inevitable with the Red Bull Baron buff. We'll see. Team Liquid are going to go back and take out the Dragon instead. As you mentioned, it is spawning now in about 5 seconds. So it should be an easy pickup after this reset and spending of the cash reserves on the Liquid side.
Is it good news if you get a 700 gold bounty off Jensen and then he's got a 400 gold bounty on his name again, or is it demoralizing with how hard he's been carried?
That's a level of perspective, I guess, you have to take on. I think it's 1,000 gold, by the way. But
glass is half full. Okay, so it was just bumped up there and cut down real quick. Yeah, Let's see about this pick on Impact, though.
Oh, Impact too far forward here. Gonna pop your ulti for a bit of extra speed, but Alphari is just gonna give you the thumbs up. And in fact, TL's gonna abandon it. Jensen wants an assist here. He's not gonna get one. As Alphari actually just solo kills Impact. I like that Jensen's playing like he has Energize, and he doesn't. But he has certainly collected a lot of kills and assists this game, but credit to him for having such a good one so far. As it does seem like the finishing touches are being put onto the enemy base here on the Team Liquid side. Jensen's going to go ahead and take this tier 2. Jizuke is continuing to strive for greatness and look to knock down a top inhib tower. He's getting close, but I think Alphari should put a stop to that. But Team Liquid will be likely busting through the base in any moment now.
Split pushing is in his blood. What can I say, Pastry Time? Jizuke does have teleport, so if he gets far enough away from Alphari, which he cannot do.
Nice scoop and wall up there for Alphari to get the kill as Ignar tries to get a root down, but instead Team Liquid, they've already broken the center of the base, and it could be more as CoreJJ, who's caught in here. Good 2-man shock there for Jensen into the Magna Pull after the Ferromancy, and CoreJJ and Jensen just cannot be stopped here. This combination is so potent as Team Liquid are going to take just about everything.
Yep, inhibitor number 2 will go down, and with this Baron buff still on for 1 more second, they will be able to finish it up. Nexus turret's now going to be under fire.
All right, well, one on the right there is going to be gone as Jensen is working on that already with the minion wave. Ignar and deftly 2-man defense right now. Jizuke up in 4 seconds. Alphari is taking the top wave in just in case they don't win the game right now, but a jump on from CoreJJ does give Tactical the kill onto Deftly, and it's 2v4 still there for EG as the Nexus is open. Santorin is low, but the game is going to end as Team Liquid are going to group around the Realm Warp for one final time. It's the party in the base as Santorin's unstoppable. EG are trying to chase out Tactical, and CoreJJ will not let his marksman go down as Impact going to get the logo flashed on there as Alphari going to get the final kill. Surely Boulder Toss is it, the Bud Light Ace to finish it off. It's the sweep for Team Liquid Kobe. They're going to the finals 3-0 over Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, EG want to go out in a blaze of glory. Everybody Realm Warp in! We've got one more Bud Light Ace in us. Team Liquid going to be able to pull that one back after a strong early game opening from Evil Geniuses. My goodness, what a turnaround there for Team Liquid, though, after fight, and turning that into the Dragon as well. Have to say, some key shockwaves here from Jensen. Team Liquid did not back down as EG kept on pressing for plays deeper and deeper, not waiting for some of these cooldowns. They were able to, put up their defenses, get that punish down on the first one, and that just lended to a cascade of gold back in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talk about CodeAJ all the time. Had an exceptional series, unsurprisingly. We said his Thresh may have been too good. Like we expected, the rest of his champions also too powerful. Rel plus Oriana looked disgusting on the TL side. Rel in general has seemed so insanely powerful that I expect more teams to pick her up, especially if things really don't shift in the support role. But CodeAJ, like you said, demonstrating why it's one of his most played champions this season so far. He has so much mastery over that champion and what angles he can take, and it's starting to feel like every angle might be a Rel angle, Code, because CodeAJ did not shy away from very many fights.
Except the blind angle over the back of the Dragon pit. I still like it. I love when we get, plays like that. You're throwing it out for a chance. But very clearly, people have that on their minds, like you do when you see a Gragas support or a Rakan support in the hands of Ignar. Those two players especially are the ones that like to go for, these risky blind level 1 plays to try and get an advantage for their team. It can backfire, but even with it backfiring, Team Liquid still salvage it. That's why you don't remake your scrim after you lose your level 1. Play it out.
All right, well, certainly they did play it out as Team Liquid, as we said, do sweep this series. After the break, though, we'll hear from Tigris and Tactical in the Verizon post-game interview. Don't go too far.
Change of range.
Welcome back to the LCS, everyone, here for another Verizon post-game interview alongside Team Liquid Tactical. First things first, Tactical, this is the first time I'm getting to speak to you on the broadcast since the start of the season. How has this transition been for you, not just as your first non-rookie year, but of course with the new additions to the team?
Yeah, so I've been having a lot more fun this year, just because I'm not just learning. It feels like I just make plays, and it feels like I'm more like a part of the team rather than I'm behind and learning. So far it's been really fun, especially with new teammates. I think everyone's really good. I think so far we've been working well so far, and yeah, it's just been really fun so far.
Diving into that a bit deeper, how you're saying that first year you were doing a lot of learning, and I know that you had self-described your bot lane duo, for instance, a lot like this kind of mentorship situation. How has your relationship with Core JJ evolved now that you do have a whole year with him under your belt?
Yeah, so I do think nowadays it's less about him telling me what to do. It's more like we're working together. I can feel that difference. There's really not much to talk about nowadays unless it's something new that we learn. Otherwise, it's just like regular balling talk, and we go back and forth about it.
Yeah, and there is a different feel to the team when it comes to Team Liquid. Obviously, you have new additions, but it's been an old-time story for Team Liquid to want to get more aggressive, more proactive with those international aspirations. So if you had to lock it down to something in particular of why we're getting to see more of that side right at the start of this season, what do you think it is?
So one thing I could say for sure is I think Core's been more aggressive. I could tell he's different. I'm not sure if it's because I learned a lot and then I'm able to help him do what he wants to do, or if it's also just our top lane changes in general. Maybe in those regards, those changes to the team helped us be more proactive or more aggressive. So I think a combination of both of those things are the reason why we've been more active than last year.
Yeah, much more proactive, much more aggressive, but all that still same cleanliness we expect from Team Liquid, which is perhaps why it ended up being a 3-0 as some had predicted it to be. But in the sense of using this lock-in as an evaluation time for teams that you will be facing time and time again throughout this upcoming season, what do you make of EG? Because they have been turning heads and have kind of put some heat under the boots of others when thinking about their potential.
Yeah, so today was a bit odd just because there were long pauses, and I feel like the flow of the focus was disrupted a lot and it didn't feel as intense, but I did expect them to be a little better. There's that. And usually over a lot of time I overestimate my opponents the day before the match, and that's probably why we're able to do it really well because my teammates don't really get complacent. But yeah.
Speaking of the day before a match, you do have another opponent coming up. You'll be facing off against C9, Sven off of a couple hot pentas in their last series. What are your thoughts on your upcoming opponents?
Well, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts about it. It's just, I want to play the game tomorrow and see what happens. Yeah, it's hard to say for me because I feel like I'm able to just play the game pretty comfortably now, no matter who I play against here. So we'll see what happens.
Comfort is key in the end. Tactical, thanks for stopping on by.
No problem. Thank you.
We are all looking forward to that final matchup tomorrow between Team Liquid and Cloud9. But before we even get there, we have to continue breaking down today. And to do so, let's head to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Tigris. Really insightful answers. And while I recognize that sometimes, the syntax of the answer is a bit simplistic, inciting the differences between last year with Core JJ and this year. Well, maybe this year he's just not having to tell me as much what I need to be doing. I think it actually does demarcate, though, a very significant change for that bot lane and continues to be one of the major reasons, Crumbs, why we talk about them as, the top of the table when it comes to bot lanes in North America.
Very simple words are from Tactical. The bottom lane a little bit more aggressive. EG wasn't as good as they expected. To be fair, I think the pauses really do a lot. Like he mentioned, it really takes you off your tempo. It's hard to focus back, especially if you're not the team asking for the pauses. But hey, at the end of the day, Team Liquid's veteran status allows them to go through it because you can't expect to go to win championships and not have to go through the mental hurdles of dealing with these delays. It happens.
Absolutely, and I think the fact that Tactical it feels like he has a partnership with Core JJ rather than like some sort of master-servant dynamic is actually a testament to how much he's progressed as an individual player. You know, a lot of the time when people talk about Team Liquid, they talk about it like the Yankees of League of Legends, but Tactical was not some gigantic name that got signed for $5 million before he joined this team. He's someone who had to step up and get to a level where he can lane with Core JJ and have mutual respect. So it's great to hear that, and TL looks really, really scary right now as a result.
I like the setup for how much of a behemoth this TL squad is, because within that, we did want to take a moment to actually praise one of the big plays made here by Evil Geniuses early on into Game 3. Azael, the power of level 1s.
So this is last series that TL played. Core JJ gets Rel, goes for this invade, nothing happens from it. Immediately when the game that we just watched started, I thought back to this play. And I think that EG thought back to that play as well. There's only a couple champions you can do this sort of level 1 invade on, where you W over the wall on the Rel, and then you're hoping to catch someone who's standing solo there, wrap around behind them, force a flash, or get an early first blood. In this case, EG is stacked in the brush, expecting that. They're able to chase down on Core JJ because they picked up on the tendency that he used this against FlyQuest. They get the kill, they get the flash. Then fast forward to the 2v2 in lane. Again, here, a nice little step back from Deathly as Core JJ looks for the engage. And remember, when Rel dismounts, you are slowed. Look how incredibly slow he is. He's in the MFE. He has no flash because of level 1. That leads to a 2v2 kill. They are now ahead. Fast forward a little bit later, Rise on the roam here with the Realm Warp, meets up with Udyr. They're able to set up a 4-man dive on this. This is all snowballing from what I believe to be really good scouting and recollection of what Core JJ did against FlyQuest, and I just think that that is beautiful League of Legends, and it is beautiful to see how a small little play like that, a small recognition of a pattern, can turn itself into a significant gold lead. And yeah, TL is too damn good. It didn't matter. They won anyway, but I still believe it should be commended, and that is something that really impressed me from EG today.
I love that point as a way for teams to find ways to beat these top rosters. All right, maybe they have all the money in the world and are getting better players, but you can scout, you can pick up on patterns that they are making and exploit them inside a game, because a little bit better, right? That advantage that they got from just a level 1 could be enough in another game to just win the match right there. So I really like this. I love how Azael demonstrated it, because the replays, I think, really showed exactly how EG took advantage of it.
Yeah, more than anything in the early game. But as you mentioned, Azael, try as you might against this TL squad. You give them an inch, they take a mile. And even with maybe a head start, that mile, they'll still catch up. Team Liquid here wrestling their way out of what looked like a disastrous catch here for Team Liquid.
And you know what's tragic is that Jizuke, I actually think, has played incredibly well up to minute 20 in this game. And we saw the start of a really good play, right? He TPs in there, forces Tactical to ult out. But then EG, they just got a little too thirsty, man. And they chased way, way too hard. Definitely completely misses his ult, and then they get turned around super hard. So I think versus a better team, TL would get punished, you know, and I think we'll hopefully see that with C9 tomorrow. But here, I think EG just got a little bit overeager.
And it's one of those things where sometimes you can smell the desperation. If a team knows that they're an underdog, sometimes they play like an underdog. And it did feel like EG's initial play, even not killing Tactical off, was still worth going for. If they had actually held Deathly's ult, and then Team Liquid is double TPing into a team that has Seraphine ultimate up, Misfortune ultimate available, then that turns into a situation where EG can actually turn on and perhaps burst down the people that are teleporting in. But because they wanted that extra kill, they felt that they needed to stretch for it, it doesn't work out, and they get punished incredibly hard on the turnaround.
This fight here, Crumbs, there are two players to be watching. Core JJ first, Jensen second.
Flash engage, we saw it so many times out of his Rel, but more importantly, I think the follow-up from Jensen was just clutch. I think that's the added element that Team Liquid has this year. It's that Jensen's follow-up on the support. Everybody's willingness to just follow whoever finds the first fight is so much faster, and so you can't flash out of it. You just get insta-gibbed, and that makes Team Liquid that much scarier, because now you've got a bunch of best players who are following up each other and know how to play the game individually well enough that they can just look at the play, follow up, and not have to even think about, is this the right play or not? You just trust and you do it.
some gorgeous performances out of all the Team Liquid players, but for his stellar performance in this important matchup for Team Liquid, we had to give today's player of the series to Core JJ. Across all 3 of the games, you can take a look at not only those score lines, but just anecdotally from the eyeball test, it's plays like we saw there in the 3rd game, the setup for the rest of his team.
So good. And not a lot of people are playing Rel either, right? He's one of the few that are actually really showing us these new supports that we fully expected to be very relevant in the new year.
And you know, it almost feels like heresy to say anything about Core that's like even remotely negative. I will note that, you know, he kind of got snowballed on in the last game, and it ended up not mattering because the team's so good, and then Core recovered in the mid to late game. My vote for player of the series is actually Jensen. I think this is a guy who's been hungry for recognition as the best mid in NA, and so far throughout this tournament, I think he has been. And tomorrow, he has an opportunity to claim the crown over Perks, and I'm excited to see if that can happen. I'm not sure if the rest of the team is up to the task, but overall, he was matching TPs on Jizuke. His coordination with his jungler is really, really on point. So Jensen's making a case for himself.
He's been amazing, and I think it's so exciting because it does feel like you're not just claiming the crown for your team as Jensen, you're potentially claiming the NA mid lane crown for yourself, at least for now. Because for so many years, it has felt like he has always been second fiddle to Bjergsen. It's always been Bjergsen who's getting the MVPs, who's getting the first team All-Pro, who's getting the additional recognition. And you could feel the frustration, I think, from Jensen at times because of this. And now, Bjergsen retires, but in comes Perks. And everyone immediately is thinking, well, you're still second best. Too bad. But it's his opportunity to prove that ain't true. Perks hasn't been looking nearly as good as Jensen. And if Jensen can slam Perks tomorrow, I think you have to say Jensen is the best mid laner in NA right now.
I mean, he's got a bone to pick, to say the least. And with that victory today, we have locked in our lock-in finalists. It's going to be C9 facing off against Team Liquid tomorrow at 1 p.m. Countdown kicks off at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Looking ahead, though, at that final matchup, we've already talked, obviously, about the mid lane and how important that is. But no surprise, considering the conversations we've had over the last 2 days, that this series, I think, could be swung by many across the map. So, once again, let's just go down the line here. Crumbs, your thoughts, C9, TL, how do they match up? Which is your lane? Who's the player that makes or breaks it?
There's no more lane anymore, Dash. It's about jungle support. It's about that stage in the game where they're paired together and helping out everyone else. So even if it's Perks versus Jensen, it's still going to come down to Core JJ, Santorin versus Vulcan and Blabber in the 2v2 fighting for mid control.
What about you,
And I feel like I'm the one always picking on him, and I promise it's not personal. I love what he said about Brainless and all that. But Fudge, man, like there's a huge gap top, right? It's the elephant in the room. And, you know, we saw that 100 Thieves was able to create huge advantages, but due to some shaky shot calling, they weren't able to exploit those advantages. TL's not going to have that problem. This is maybe the best shot calling team in the league. So on a lane-by-lane basis, I think they look good everywhere, but top is going to be a real issue, and maybe it's an issue that they can cover up with draft.
Azael, close us out.
Or maybe they can cover it up with Perks, right? If Perks is playing on his peak form like he has played internationally, this man can take over games, can take over a series, can win his lane and move around the map in such a way that all of a sudden the 1v1 is not relevant because Perks is there. Every time you step up to lane, you're getting dove. And that's the kind of performance I think Cloud9 need out of Perks to get a win tomorrow.
Well, 24 hours stands between us and the first trophy lifters of the 2021 year here in the LCS. That's going to do it for us here, though, on this semifinal day. On behalf of myself, the casters, the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more LCS and the conclusion of our lock-in tournament. Stay safe, stay healthy, be good to each other. Good night.